Hello guys, what's up? Now after learning about liquid pressure in the last video, I'm sure you're all excited to learn about pressure applied by gases in this video. So without wasting a single second, let's jump right into the topic. Now before I talk about pressure applied by gases, let me explain the meaning of the term fluid. So you see, fluid is a substance that is capable of flowing. So this means that both liquids and gases can be considered fluids because both are capable of flowing. And yes, in fact, gases flow much more rapidly as compared to liquids. Now, what do you think would happen if we confine some amount of gas in a closed container like this? Do you think gas would apply pressure on its walls just like liquids do? Well, it turns out, yes, the gas would indeed apply pressure on the container's walls. But it is nothing like how liquids apply pressure on their container's walls. You see, this is true because gases are much less dense as compared to liquids. At least liquids are dense enough to stay together and collected. But gases, not so much. The moment they go inside a container, they spread everywhere. Due to this, when gases are added to a container, they don't just take up the shape of the container, but also occupy the entire volume of the container. So, if I pour some gas in a round bottom flask, then you will see that the gas particles would be found everywhere inside the volume of the round bottom flask. Poke a hole towards the top or poke a hole towards the bottom. You would see gas escaping the container from both the places. This means that gas was certainly applying pressure at both those places. Now clearly, this behavior of gases is in stark contrast to the behavior of liquids which we studied in the previous video. For instance, consider some water in a similar round bottom flask. The first thing you'd notice about water is that it will flow all the way towards the bottom and accumulate over there. This is not how gases behave. Now, if I poke a hole somewhere towards the top, in case of round bottom flask containing water, you'd see that water will not flow out of that hole because water doesn't jump or water doesn't exert pressure above its own maximum level. But is that the case with gases? No, that's not the case because gases occupy the entire volume. Apart from that, water applies different amounts of pressure at different heights. So, towards the bottom, water applies the maximum pressure, while towards the top, water applies less and less pressure. But is that the case with gases? No, because gases are spread everywhere uniformly inside the container, they apply almost the same pressure at every point in the container. So, in a nutshell, we can say that a gas occupies the entire volume of the container it moves into, and therefore it also applies an almost uniform pressure everywhere inside the container. Now, if I think of some real life examples that involve gas pressure, the first thought that comes in my mind is nothing but the birthday balloons, which are essentially filled with the air that we blow into them. Now, while inflating a balloon, you might have noticed that the balloon always expands uniformly. It never expands more towards the bottom or less towards the top. It always expands uniformly. So, this is essentially another conclusive proof that air always exerts pressure equally on the walls of its container. Because if the air pressure was not uniform or was not equal, the balloon would have expanded in every which way. But because it expands uniformly, this means that the air pressure is also acting uniformly on the walls of its container, which in this case happens to be a balloon. Similarly, tires of all types of vehicles, be it two-wheelers, three-wheelers or four-wheelers, are always filled with pressurized air. Now once again you can see that while you are inflating a tire, the tire always expands uniformly, once again proving that the air pressure inside the tire is acting uniformly everywhere on the surface. But hey, what about the air around us? I'm sure you know that this envelope of air that engulfs our entire planet and sustains life on it is called atmosphere. Now the atmosphere extends for several kilometers above our Earth's surface and is a mixture of several gases like nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide and various other gases. Now, what did we just learn about gases? they exert pressure. So, the atmosphere that surrounds us also exerts pressure on everything that is present on the Earth's surface. And yes, that includes us as well, guys. Now, the pressure exerted by the atmosphere on the Earth's surface is also called the atmospheric pressure. And to calculate the atmospheric pressure, we need to revisit the formula we learned a few videos ago, which was pressure is equal to force acting per unit surface area. Now, to calculate the atmospheric pressure, first of all, we consider a square of unit area on the Earth's surface, and then imagine a cuboid full of air extending all the way up to the top of atmospheric layer. Then we try to estimate the weight of the air in this cuboidal column that is acting on that unit surface area. That gives us an idea about the atmospheric pressure on that unit area. Now, as a fun trivia, let me tell you that the weight of air above 1 meter square area on Earth's surface is equivalent to the weight of a full-fledged car. Yes, I know that sounds ridiculous. But what's more ridiculous is the fact that we never tend to feel such weights on our shoulders. Do you feel any atmospheric weight on your shoulders regularly? No, right? So why do you think that happens? Well, that's because the pressure inside our body exerted by blood is equal to the atmospheric pressure that is acting from the outside. So the internal pressure equals external pressure, and therefore we don't get crushed under the immense weight of atmosphere that sits on our shoulders all the time. Now, before I end this video, let me give you a rather convincing example of how strong air pressure can be. You see, in 17th century, a German scientist called Otto von Guericke proposed an experiment that demonstrated the true strength of air pressure. And I must say it was rather dramatic. So essentially, he joined two metallic spheres and pumped out all the air from inside. Then he had 8 horses on both sides of the hemispheres to pull them apart. And guess what? The hemispheres could not be pulled apart by 16 strong horses. So, how did this experiment demonstrate the strength of air pressure? Well, you see, as all the air inside the hemispheres were pumped out, pressure inside was close to zero, while atmospheric pressure was several times higher. So high, in fact, that despite 8 strong horses pulling it from each side, the hemispheres stayed right where they were. Now, another important thing that you must remember about atmospheric pressure is that it is not the same at every height. As you go higher up the atmosphere, the air pressure decreases. Therefore, the airplane cabins have to be pressurized so that we don't get affected by the low pressures of the higher atmosphere. The constant ear pops during takeoffs and landings is also an outcome of the pressure difference. So guys, that's all I have to say about pressure applied by gases today. Now, the applications of gas pressure can be found everywhere around you. So make sure you have a keen eye so that when you see it, you notice it. For now guys, let's summarize what we learned today. Gases occupy the entire volume of the container they move into. That's why they apply a uniform pressure on the walls of the container. The envelope of air that surrounds us is called the atmosphere. The atmosphere is nothing but a mixture of several gases and extends for several kilometers above the Earth's surface. The pressure applied by air is called the atmospheric pressure. The large value of atmospheric pressure is not felt by us because the pressure inside our body is equal to the atmospheric pressure that is acting on us from the outside. Atmospheric pressure is maximum near the Earth's surface or at the sea level and gradually decreases as we move upwards.